is methods. It's very important methods for the thread. So we talk about the current thread. This guy will help you to get current thread. Whatever the current threads we are having, it will return the thread. Now get name will give the name of the thread. Start will help you to start the thread by calling the run method, right? And run method, the actual code is in my run method. So whatever we are writing in the run method, that will get executed and get done by the thread. Sleep method, it will go for sleep. What are the millisecond you have passed in your sleep functionality? Okay, I mean sleep method. Is alive will help you to check whether thread is live or dead. Active count, let us say you are having a thread, uh, 10 threads are there, and that threads is under one group. Okay, let us have a thread group also here. There's a concept of thread group. So that thread group is containing 10 threads. Now 2 has become dead now. Now if I say active count, thread group dot active count, so this will give me how many threads are active in that group. So it will say, it will tell you 8. So 10 was there and 2 is becoming dead. So now it is what? 8. So it will return 8 threads are active. Interrupt. If you interrupt the threads, immediately it will get up, start working. Let us say one thread supposed to sleep for a 10 second, and before 10 second or like just started or after 2 seconds you are saying interrupt. So what will happen? Thread will get interrupted and start working. So it will resume. Like sometimes if some person is sleeping and we say, hey, are you sleeping? So that person, what happened? Get interrupted and start asking what happened, right? It is like that. So eld method, let us say multiple threads if running, and if one thread is calling eld method, then what will happen? It will check whether other threads which are in the queue, is it having more priority than me? If it is having more priority, then let them run. I'll be running later. Okay. If none of them are more priority, then again it will check, is it there any thread having the same priority? If any thread having the same priority, okay, it will tell, okay, let them do the work, I'll do later. If none of the thread is like that, then self thread will start working. Okay, that is the eld method. Join method, if we're doing, say there's a two threads, say T1 T2. Now I have a T1 dot join and I have a T2 dot something a start, right? So this T1 dot join, if I call after start, then this thread will not allow anyone to start. This thread will complete its task first and then T2 will start. So this T2 will wait to get T1 terminated. So once T1 terminate, then T2 will start. That is the functionality of the join method. These are the very basic methods and important methods in the thread class which you will be using in the session. Okay, so how to create a thread? Look at here. Say just say thread new thread equal to new thread this, right? So here this is the object of the thread class which we have created, and then we are saying new thread. This means if we are passing this, means it is representing current thread. Okay. How to start the thread? Just call the start method, and that start method will call the run method. Okay. Not runnable state is entered if the thread is sleeping, waiting and being blocked by another thread. Sleeping means if you once call the sleep method, it will go for run, not runnable. If you call wait method, it will go for waiting. If you are just doing some input output, in that case also your thread will be waiting. If you can see this example here, what is happening now, we are just displaying a time, okay, after every second. So it is displaying 634 seconds, 635 seconds, 636 seconds. So it is like that, okay. So what we are doing here, we are finding date class from the util package, okay, Gregorian calendar, and then calendar.set time, and then we are getting here calendar.get hour, get minute, and get second. So we are getting the whole in this str time variable, right? And then we are writing system.out.println str time. So it will print the time, right? Now in the main method, what we are doing, current time t equal to new current time. So we are creating object of this class, right? And then we are saying t dot start. So this is what thread, because extending thread. So this t dot start will call this run method. This run method is doing what? For loop, infinite loop. Inside that it is calling this display method. So this display method will getting call here, right? After calling, it will display this line, and then it is saying sleep 1 second. So it will sleep for 1 second. Again it is calling, keep calling infinite time, because for loop is here. So this method, the whole method I am calling inside the for loop after every second with infinite number, right? Okay. So this is very good example to understand. Now the date thread state is entered in two situations. Dies naturally when the loop in the run method is complete. Is killed means by assigning null to the thread object. Is alive, which will help you to check whether thread is alive or dead. Occurs in the stop method of the thread, okay. Now look at this example now. So it's very good example to understand the thread and thread group and thread name. If you can see here, there's a my thread extend thread. So what we are doing, we're extending the thread class and we are making a thread here, right? And then inside that, this is my constructor where we are passing a string s and s super s. This super s will call the thread class super constructor, right? So thread class constructor will call and s will go to the thread class. Now what we are doing, thread t equal to thread dot current thread. So one thread we are retrieving current thread. Here my thread t1, my thread t2. So my thread is again thread type. So how many threads here? Three threads, right? Here I have a three threads, one, two, and this is the three. What kind of this thread? First one, it is saying thread dot current thread. Which is the current thread? It is in main method, right? So I have a main thread here, and which is pointed by the T. So this first is my what kind of thread? Main thread. This is the two is the child thread, we can say now. Now we are doing a system order println T. What is the T here? If you can look at here the output, this is the output of the T, right? Main 5 main. So main is the name of the thread and 5 is the priority and third is what? Group, thread group. So first is what? This is the name, I mean thread name. 5 is what? This is the priority, and this main is what? It is a group, thread group, right? Good. Now we are doing t dot set name James. So we are changing the name of my main thread. Earlier name was the main, now name is what? James. So here it is displaying James 5 main, but still it is the group or member of the main group only. By default, every thread is having priority 5 and every thread is a member of main group by default, unless and until you pass or you create some thread group, okay? So we have seen this current thread method. Now there is a t.getName. So we have seen set name method. So set name, by changing the name of the thread, get name will retrieve the name of the thread. So what is the name? It is James, right? Now we are creating another two threads here, and we are saying first child, second child. So this first child and second child will come to S, in turn it will go to here, and then in turn go to here, right? So my first thread is the first child, second thread is the second child. And then we are printing here T1, T2 now, and then what we are getting? T1 is the first child, T2 is the second child, priority is a 5, group is main by default, right? We want to set priority, we want to change priority. Okay, I have a method T1 dot set priority, thread and this thread dot max underscore priority. So by default it is 5, but if we are saying max priority means 10. So there's a three things we are having: mean priority, norm priority, and max priority. So mean is the 1, normal is 5, and max is the 10. So this is the priority now, if you can see here, and we are displaying here T1. So T1 is having displaying, say it is a 10, right? Okay. So what is the use of priority? Basically, like it helps us to set priority so that that thread will get processed first, right? Now next, again we are trying to create a thread. Here this time I have not done extend thread, I have done implements runnable. So if you're writing implements runnable, you have to override this method, because runnable is having one method, and that is the run method. You have to override. It is the interface, right? So there's one abstract method, run method, you have to override. Now another class th example having main method. Same job we are doing here again. Same job. Okay, here we are getting three threads now. This is my first main thread T. Here I am creating T1, T2, T3. So this is my thread 2, thread 3, and thread 4. So three threads are there, four threads are there. Thread T1 equal to new thread. I am passing new my thread. I cannot create here my thread T1 equal to new my thread, because it is not a thread type, right? It is a runnable type. So I cannot create here, because there is no such kind of a start method and all. It is with the runnable, right? It is just a run method. So if we are creating my thread here, new my thread, and we are passing to the T1, so that we can call T1 dot start, T1 dot set priority, like that methods begin. Okay, T3 dot set name, because these methods are where it is in the thread class. So you have to take the help of thread class now. And what we are doing here, we are passing runnable now first time. But if you see in this case, we are passing runnable plus we are passing the Tom. So this Tom is what? It is a string now, and my thread, just we are passing the my thread in T3. So there's a T1, T2, T3, three threads are there, and T3 dot set name Jack. Okay, so we are setting the name of third threads. Okay, and if you can look at here, T1, T2, T2, T3. So we are displaying here now, and the output of T1 is here. Thread 0, 5 main. Second is what? I have given the name of T2 is Tom. So this is my second thread, Tom 5. Third thread name is what? Jack. So it is coming here, Jack now, Jack 5 main. Okay. So this is my three threads, and this is my first main thread now. And what we are doing, we are setting priority here, and then we are doing here T1. Again I am printing T1, so it is saying thread 0, priority 10 main, right? And then we are saying T3 dot start, so first third thread will start, I mean T3 child third thread, and T1 dot start. So first it will go and call the run method and do the job. So what is the value? Hello 0. So 0 will display hello 0, right? And then again it is calling hello 1, right? Now this guy will go and call the run method. Okay, so it will go and call the run method here, and then display here 0 1, because just I'm running 2 times. Okay, so I hope you understood this, how to use get name, set priority methods, current thread. So we understood these 4 methods here, and on run method that we need to override once we are uh, implementing runnable. So thread priority, processor executes threads on their priority as it can execute only one thread at a time. In case of multiple threads, the processor maintains a thread queue. Let us say you created 10 threads. What do you think? All the 10 threads will go and process by the processor? Processor cannot do this job. Okay. Processor can execute only one task at a time, one thread at a time. So in case of multiple threads, it make a queue and can be represented by an integer in the range 1 to 10. So there's a priority for that, and can be changed using the set priority. So sorry, in that priority we set. So that is what thread priority we call. If you can look it here, just I explained these 3 things that you are having: main priority and max priority and norm priority, right? So this will help you to set the priority. And so this is my minimum, and 5 is the normal, and 10 is the maximum priority we are having. Okay, fine. So you can just look at here. If you want to set priority, you just use the set priority methods. If you want to use retrieve the priority, what is the priority of this thread? So we are having get priority method. So this is a setter getter method kind of things in the thread class, which you can use for this purpose. And multi-threading. So multi-threading is what? It's a, we can say it is a technique that allows a program or a process to execute many tasks concurrently. It allows a process to run its task in a parallel mode on single process system. So in the multi-threading concept, several multiple lightweight processes are run in a single process task or program by a single processor. For example, when you use word processor, you perform many different tasks such as printing, spelling check, and so on, right? So multi-thread software treats each process as a separate program. In Java, the JVM allows an application to have multiple threads of execution running concurrently. It allows a program to be more responsive to the user. When a program contains multiple threads, then the CPU can switch between the 2 threads to execute them at the same time. For example, look at the diagram here. So we are having, say, operation 1, operation 2. So it will keep switching the operations for the thread 1 and thread 2 and start working and interacting between all the threads, right? Okay. So in the diagram, like 2 threads were being executed having more than one task. The task of each thread is switched to the task of another thread. So advantage of multi-threading over multitasking is what? Reduces the computation time, improves performance of an application. Threads share the same address space, so it saves the memory. As I said, if I start a one process, and if that is having number of threads, so all threads will be sharing the memory. So we are having a saving of the memory. Context switching between the threads is usually less expensive than between process, right? So here switching is happening between the threads, not between the process. So the time is less here. Cost of communication between threads is relatively low now.